Welcome everyone to Weekly News and a DW Main Major tidbit, and the topic for this video is President Bongbong Marcos, hindi kinaya ang art of the deal.
I want to say it's an honor to have you. We're going to talk about trade today, and we're very close to finishing a trade deal, big trade deal actually, and we do a lot of business with you. It's a lot of income coming in for both groups. But I was surprised to see the kind of numbers. They're very big.
Bumisita si Presidente Bongbong Marcos sa Amerika para makipagnegosasyon kay POTUS Trump sa White House patungkol sa walang hangganang taripa at tangent ni Orange ADHD man.
We're going to be talking about war and peace. They're a very important nation militarily, and we've had some great drills lately. We're back with them. I think I can say that the last administration was not getting along with them too well. They didn't get along with anybody. They didn't know. Honestly, they didn't know what they were doing. But we have some fantastic military relationships with the Philippines, and that's been reinstituted. And they're going to get bigger under what we're doing and what we're proposing. And I just want to thank you for being with us. It's a great honor. You and your representatives, really a great honor. We have a big announcement. AstraZeneca, the big drug company, is going to spend $50 billion. Just announced $50 billion in the United States.
So first off, ano nga ba ang tariff? So totoo lang, dapat hindi na pinansin ni BBM yung dalawang tariff na pinataw sa mga bansa including the Philippines. Kasi one, wala namang nakikipagnegosasyon kay Trump, or bihira ang mga taong makikipagnegosasyon kay Trump. Kaya niya nga pinost for 90 days kasi wala ko makausap sa kanya. Kaya niya pinost yun kasi again, tataas lang yung inflation sa bansa niya. At saka, bakit tayo papatungan ng tariff kung binigay na natin sa kanila ang lahat? Like, ginawa na tayong tuta. Ginawa na tayong tuta pero pinatawan pa rin tayo ng taripa. Hindi ba parang unfair yung ganun? Bigyan na natin sila ng base militar na nakalagay sa Pilipinas, sa ating mga strategic defense sites. Ang laking sampal nun sa goodwill ng Pilipinas sa Amerika. Kasi kinakalaban tayo when we only want peace and we only want cooperation. Unang pinatawan ni Donald Trump ang Pilipinas ng 17% tariff noong April 2025.
Kapag po nanatili ang ganitong klaseng polisiya, maaari pa rin din po tayo makakuha ng mga investors mula doon sa mga bansa na may pinapatawan ng malalaking tariff. So maaari silang pumunta sa Pilipinas, dito sila magsagawa, mag-manufacture, dahil 17% lamang ang pinapataw sa atin. So, pwedeng negative, positive.
Kung 17% lang ang tariff natin ng tilapia na fillet o kaya whole sa Amerika, tapos ang Vietnam, which is a major supplier at 46%, and Thailand at 34%, is a second major supplier, lamang tayo.
Meaning lahat ng in-export natin papuntang Amerika tulad ng banana, ketchup, Bixby Porab, Oliver Rodrigo at Duterte will be 17% more expensive sa tinugrean niyang Liberation Day.
November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America.
I thought that was Liberation Day. But then I was like, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, he changed it.
For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
I thought it was January 20th, 2025. That was Liberation Day. I thought I was already liberated. But then it turns out
We have Liberation Day, as you know, on April 2nd.
Of course, as we said earlier, pinost niya rin ito because he a dumbass at walang pumapansin and only served to isolate the US sa buong mundo. Kasi ikaw, kumbaga yung US na ang nagbebenepisyo sa free trade sa buong mundo without the tariffs. Tapos, he's isolating the US sa buong mundo, making them more independent or less reliant sa Estados Unidos, which is, you know what, actually a good thing. You know what, countries just ignored him, plunging the stock prices of the top 500 companies.
We're gonna win so much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're gonna win more. We're gonna...
Nagulat ang lahat when a few months later, nitong July, in-announce ni Trump ang pag-hike ng tariff rate. Siguro iwasan ni Trump yung diskusyon regarding the ICE raids, pabagsak ng stock market. Pagsimulan ni Elon Musk na nasa absent list si Trump. Inflation, Israel tax kissing, Zelensky meeting, Israel bombing Gaza, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, no case rally, flop military party, big beautiful bill, Epstein list, at marami pang
We are in receipt of the United States' latest reciprocal tariff for the Philippines. We are concerned that the US has decided to impose a 20% tariff on Philippine exports. The fact remains, however, that the 20% rate is the second lowest among all reciprocal tariffs that the US has imposed on the region, the lowest being the 10% of Singapore. But more importantly than all of this, we remain committed to continuing negotiations with the United States in good faith to pursue a bilateral comprehensive economic agreement or, if possible, an FTA.
Kanyang meeting with Trump, they agreed to a 1% cut ng taripa from 20% to 19%. Sa totoo na, nakakainsulto. Hindi ata magaling mag-negotiate si BBM. Pero in all honesty at kudos to him, walang leverage ang Pilipinas para kalabanin ang isang egotistic, fascistic, unilateral motherfucker that is Trump. Even more than Marcos.
Mr. President, where are we in terms of negotiating about the reciprocal tariff? How far are we
With who?
from the Philippines? Yes, sir. How far
Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
Good.
I'm from the Philippines. How far are we from achieving?
Well, it's tough. He's a very tough negotiator. So far, we're not there because he's negotiating too tough. In fact, I used to like him better than I do now. He's too tough. But we'll probably agree to something. But he's strong, a strong negotiator. He loves your country.
Trump even mentioned the previous administration, Duterte's affinity towards China, calling it a bad move and heading to the wrong direction.
Well, it's an honor to be with this gentleman. You know, I've known him, and I've known his family, actually, but I've known him. And I assume you're from the Philippines? Are you from the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
That's good. You're very lucky to be from the Philippines, right? It's a great place. But we're going to have a very good relationship. I mean, I know you had some problems with another president, and it was not your fault. It was the president's fault. And the country was maybe tilting toward China, but we untilted it very, very quickly. But you know, you had a country that was tilting toward China for a period of time, and I just don't think that would have been good for you. You can deal with China, you should deal with China, but when I got elected, everything changed and they came right back to us.
They also announced new missile ammunition manufacturing hubs in the Philippines sa Subic.
How crucial is the ammunition hub that the U.S. plans to build in Subic and the Luzon corridor, considering that these will be built in areas that hosts strategic ports as well as military air bases?
You're talking ammunition?
Yes, the U.S. House Congressional Committee on Appropriations approved a budget.
Well, it's very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't have approved it.
Sorry?
Yeah, it's very important. Otherwise, we wouldn't. We need ammunition. We're going to end up in a few months, we'll have more ammunition than any country has ever had. We're going to have more missiles than any country has ever had. We're going to have all the speedy missiles. We'll have the speedy ones, the slow ones, the accurate ones, the ones that are slightly less accurate. We have everything. But we will have more ammunition than any country has ever had. It's very important to me.
Ayan na naman tayo sa pag-surrender ng ating kalayaan for less 1% sa tariff rate. Ang sakit at saka sampal sa muka yung ginagawa. But anyway, something na VP Sara opposed dahil nga raw sa threat nito sa soberanya at foreign policy independence ng Pilipinas, which I guess is a worry not unfounded. Tama naman.
Ang nakalagay sa ating saligang batas, no, na meron tayong dapat independent foreign policy. Kung yung ginagawa ng gobyerno ay tungkiling sa iisang bansa lang, ibig sabihin nun, wala na tayong true independent policy.
All of what we consider part of the modernization of the Philippine military is really as a response to the circumstances that surround the situation around the South China Sea and now what we used to refer to as Asia Pacific, which we have expanded now to the Indo-Pacific. And if we would certainly, like in any kind of military spending, we would wish that it wasn't necessary, but it is. And so that is what we are doing. And as an adjunct to the question about the ammunition production, this is actually, the United States is assisting the Philippines in what we call our self-reliance defense program, which is to allow us to be self-reliant and to be able to stand our own 2 feet, whatever the circumstances that occur in the future. And that the reason that we have encouraged more interaction with the United States is because it is, again, it is necessary. And it is not just with the United States. It is with all our neighboring countries, and even countries as far afield as the Scandinavian countries, the EU. And so this is an ongoing process. And again, I will stress the point that we do this because we feel it is necessary.
Sa atin, ang tariff sa mga expert natin, 19%. 1% less than the second rate at 2%. Kumbaga, yung unang tariff natin, di ba? 17% lang. Tapos, tinaas ng 3%. Naging 20%. Tapos, binaba ng 1%. Mas mataas pa rin sa initial na 17%.
That's what we are following, is a 19% tariff rate on Philippine goods that are imported into the United States.
But Mr. President, isn't the Philippines getting the shorter end of the stick here by having still higher tariffs from 17%? It's still higher. It's still higher at 19%, whereas we're giving them zero tariffs for certain sectors.
Well, that's how negotiations go. We came here, when we arrived in Washington, tariff rates were 20. So why it came up from 17 to 20 is an internal matter with the United States government. So
noon kasi 30% ang tariff rate sa mga finished cars galing sa US at 20% naman sa mga bus at trucks. He should have just let them invest in manufacturing sa loob ng bansa para wala na silang, inaangkat na taripa. None of this shit. Kung ano mas maganda, subsidize the auto manufacturing industry sa Pilipinas. Filipino people making Filipino cars. That way, we can really stand on our own feet. You know what? Bigyan natin ng subsidiya na mas malaki yung mga jeepney makers. Yung mga modernized jeepney makers. Yung meron pa ring soul ng isang jeepney. Yung malaki sila, pero the aircon, at mukha pa rin silang jeepney sa labas. Matagal ko na sinasabi yung ganyan. Mag-invest tayo sa manufacturing sa Pilipinas. Please lang. Now, of course, hindi pa tapos and wala pang ironclad deal. But this is the preliminary sketch ng makukuha natin. And in all realities, maybe ito na yun. 19% tariff rate. Samantalang sa US, 0%. We have been a long-standing ally of the United States. Tapos gaganyanin niya lang tayo. Pero you know what? As I said earlier, mahirap makipagnegosasyon kay egotistic, fascistic, authoritarian Donald Trump. Maganda pa tayo, of course, sa mga agreed upon terms and conditions. BBM also flaunted yung mga investment pledges na nakuha ng Pilipinas from numerous industries totaling to a few dozen $billion. Ang video clip na ito ay galing sa aking series ng News Worthy Recap. Check the entire videos for the complete weekly news recap and subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date sa mga local at global news na I'll make sure will be interesting to you. Particularly you, whatever your name is. Hindi ko alam, sorry. Salamat sa panonood mga ka-farmy. Like, subscribe, follow me like sa socials and avoid Joseph that will be linked down below. So, susunod, of course, paalam.